Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Cloud Wars Live. In this podcast, we're digging into the digital revolution that is changing every facet of our lives. We're looking at it particularly from the business perspectives. A couple months ago in San Francisco at Cloud Wars Expo, we had the great privilege to work with a number of entrepreneurial companies coming up with great new innovations in the business world, technology that's going to help companies do what they were never able to do before. And of the competition we had among a number of these startup firms, we chose Wisy as the grand prize winner. And we're delighted today to have the CEO of Wise, Min Chen, with us to talk about the Wisy story, where they are and where it's headed. Hello, Min. It's great to have you.
Thank you, Bob. It's so great to be here.
So, Min, it's got to have been just a wild ride for you lately a little bit. And you're in such a dynamic field here, inventory, the retail, the shopping world, commerce, so much that's going to give everybody a little bit the point of view from you as founder and CEO of where Wisy is right now.
Yes, so at Wisy, we're solving a problem that every shopper in the world has experienced. Every time we will go into a store looking for a shampoo, cereal, or baby food, and the product is not on the shelf, that is an out-of-stock problem that creates $1 trillion of annual losses. But on the flip side, we also see that there are a lot of products that are not sold. We hear in the news that there's so much inventory at the stores, and a lot of those products go to waste. So helping the CPG industry to digitize, to transform, to use the latest AI technology is a great motivation for us, because it is such a pervasive industry that is present literally in every household, and it creates a lot of jobs, but it also has a lot of impact in the sustainability of the planet. So that's the problem we are driven to solve with artificial intelligence. And I'm so happy to announce that we just had a technology breakthrough around the time we won at Cloud Wars, to help this industry finally adopt AI in the physical world, because there's so many challenges out there that a worker in the office wouldn't have.
So, Min, one of the things you were just describing here, the challenges that these businesses are facing to try to ensure they get the right inventory in the right place at the right time. But there's probably a number of retailers and certainly the CPG companies that might say, hey, Min, it sounds great, but I've already got an inventory management system. Are you saying that I have to rip out everything I have if I want to use Wisy?
No, actually, Wisy is solving a problem beyond inventory management. We are solving retail execution, which is the last step, and it is called in the industry the moment of truth. Like, you could have products in the store, but if they are not displayed on the shelf in the right position, in the right pricing, it doesn't matter. That's the moment of truth. If the customer doesn't see the product on the shelf, then the product is not going to be bought. So that last step in this whole supply chain process is what we're solving. And the way we solve it is that we give tools to the sales representatives of the brands or their agencies to take pictures instead of eyeballing and counting the shelf, which takes them on average 20 minutes to do so. And these are very repetitive tasks that computer vision can do for them. Of course, you will say that why hasn't this been adopted before? And the short answer is that the technology wasn't there. It was so clunky. It was not flexible for real environments. And most of the AI tools were designed for robots and machines. And we're now talking about people in different places, different locations, even a lot of places without internet connection. Like, how do you make that work?
Yeah. And I mean, it's interesting as you describe that, and so interesting the retail execution, the moment of truth. But it sounds like what Wisy, on the one hand, you're using AI to get these great new insights to eliminate a lot of manual work that's not productive, and I don't think it's real rewarding to the employees who have to try to carry it out. And on top of that, then you're providing not just the company, but the individual employees with these insights to be able to say, oh, I know how I can make this better. I know how I can give our shoppers a better experience. I know how I can make our company more productive. That's got to be something that, the employees, the frontline employees feel they've got the knowledge and the capability to contribute more, not just to their own store success, but also to a better customer experience.
Yes, and we like to say that we create AI to give superpower to humans, because we are the ones that believe that we don't think AI is going to replace human. On the contrary, we still need humans for a lot of things. But we want humans to be more productive and do what is more rewarding, as you said. And most of the times when these sales representatives visit stores, and they visit like 20 stores per day, they spend most of their times doing this repetitive tasks that we can automate for them. So we see this as a transformation of a whole industry with a new set of tools. So the first step is, how do I make the existing workforce more productive, make this work more rewarding, and do more with less, which is a challenge that this industry is having, a lot of vacancies. So these people will have better data, better tools, execute better, but then we can also get into another layer of intelligence, because the same picture the sales rep is taking to get operational KPIs is the same picture I can use to get strategic KPIs. So for example, I can help them understand beyond their own products, what other products from competitors are in the same category. What are the new competitors coming in into this category and this niche brands, which is a huge trend. Niche brands are growing faster than established brands. So I can get into all this intelligence with the same picture that the person took to do his or her job better. And then eventually we can get into predictive analytics when the company has enough rich, high quality and repetitive, consistent data. We can even help them optimize their product assortment at each store. Also optimize staffing, optimize routing. So instead of Tom going to the same 5 or 20 stores every day, we can now tell Tom, hey, these stores need more attention today, and these are the ones you can put in for later. We can get into the Minority Report phase.
Yep. Min, that sounds like such an exciting future, and I think it's interesting, right? The software industry is full of, I think, what's always been called point solutions. They are good at doing, one thing, but just to the left of that process or to the right of it, they say, no, I don't do that. I just do this thing right here. So I was really intrigued to hear what you just said there, to go from tactical insights to strategic insights, the rise of niche brands growing faster than established brands, and being able to understand, and then, as you described it, Min, move up the chain into predictive analytics. That is something that I think every company would want to have, that ability.
They would want to have, and they must have really soon, because this is going to be such a transformation in the industry that it will feel so sudden. It will feel like a switch. Like nobody is using this, or a few companies are using this, and then suddenly a year later, like everybody is using this, and this will become the new standard. And we'd like to revisit history, because a lot of things are cyclical. Another great invention coming from this industry that have touched every aspect in our lives is the barcode.
Yeah.
The barcode is so transformative. Like, can you imagine managing the complexity of this industry? So many, 60,000 different products in just a given supermarket without the barcode. But the thing is that the barcode was invented 40 years before it could be deployed. And although the concept was there, it was so clunky to use the barcode, because you needed a 500 watts light bulb that would blind everybody. You needed an oscilloscope that was the size of a desk. So that's why it didn't take off until the laser was invented and computers. And the same with computer vision. Like, there have been some solutions out there, and computer vision has been around since the 60s. But it was first invented for robots or machines. Second, it doesn't work without a computer, without internet. But now we made that happen. Like you can use computer vision in any mid-range smartphone, even without connection, because we have literally put the power of AI in the palms of these people's hands. And this is going to revolutionize the industry because now we can make it accessible, affordable, flexible, scalable, thinking of from companies like top tier companies, your favorite shampoo or cereal global company that sells in 180 countries, to the niche brands that only sell in one country that have not even thought of using this kind of technology because it was just so prohibitive. And now it's like, hey, it is there and it is easy, it's affordable. And that's why we're called Wisy, by the way. Wisy comes from wise and easy. Wise and easy.
Perfect. Min, I just wanted to ask you too about that a little, right? Because you talked about barcodes. The technology is around for 40 years, but as you described so well, the 500-watt light bulbs that had blind people, you needed that. Computer vision's been around a long time. AI, I think the first reference to it was 1956, so more than 65 years ago. So you've taken a lot of these ideas that were around, but in large part inaccessible to most people. And now you've woven them into something. I loved how you described that. It's in the palm of your hand. It's adaptable. It is accessible. And it's something that doesn't require, companies to go out and buy vast supplies of new equipment and retool their factories or their warehouses. And it sounds like it's a combination of wise and easy, almost like Wisy.
Yes, it is. And we have customers saying, this sounds like magic. And asking to show 5 demos to different executives in the 180 countries they sell at because they couldn't believe it. They have, the large companies have been looking into this for at least 5 years. Some of them are already using some kind of solution in a few countries. And the reason is what I said, is like it's so expensive that only makes sense in a few countries where labor cost is really high, or where at big stores where they wouldn't have connection, but then it is not scalable. And when we show this, they said, can you do a demo, and then another demo, and 5 demos for one company, but we're talking about companies that sell globally.
Yeah. So, Min, as we wrap up, I just wanted to ask you, we had at Cloud Wars Expo and the innovation pathway, about 90 startups from around the world. We did the 3-minute pitch for each company, and yours went out among those. And I think it was really quite a moment there because there were some fantastic ideas among there. All of you had come up with some interesting things, but I think it was your ability to pull together a lot of big ideas, hard things that challenged companies or have challenged companies for decades. And you're giving them a tool that's going to let them overcome some of those things, give their people a chance to do more meaningful, interesting, and valuable type of work. So I'd just love to hear your closing thoughts on this about, why this is the time for Wisy to rise up and be seen as, you're part of the next generation of the great new technology companies.
Yes, this is the CPG industry is such a huge global one that literally is in at least 200 times in our household. That's the average amount of products we have on any given day. But there are so many challenges that these physical industries face that existing technology have not been able to solve. So what our approach was to understand deeply why these industries that are so essential have not been able to be more digitized. And a lot of the challenges have to do with not having computer, not having connection, not having a lot of things in the physical world. So at Wisy, we created technology that, on one hand is really deep technology and product innovation, but to make it so simple and so seamless that basically it can work just with air for these companies to be able to adopt this and then package this in a business case that makes sense from a technical standpoint, this works anywhere. This can run on any mid-range telephone, iPhone or Android, because the rest of the world runs on Android. And making it so easy to use that it was designed for humans from scratch. And then how do we become the standard beyond the technicalities and the usability? We have to make it affordable, just like Henry Ford did, right? He didn't invent the cars, but he made them affordable with innovation with the process. And we had to innovate from the technical standpoint, process, product, financial standpoint, to become the standard for the CPG industry in retail execution.
Well, Min, I have to say, I think you've also innovated in one more area, along with that great list you just mentioned. I think how you talk about it, right? Can be complicated, right? Sometimes for people who create these phenomenal technological tools, to avoid talking so deeply about the technology that some people get it, but a lot of people are like, I don't know what she's talking about. And you just bring this to life in a very appealing, very interesting, and I think a heartwarming sort of way there, even to the name of Wisy. That I think is something that you deserve to add to your list of innovations. It's a fantastic story.
Thank you. We're trying to stay true to our name, so we also have to make our story really wise and easy to understand.
Well, I think you've done that, Min. It's great. It's just a pleasure to talk with you and hear more about what's going on. And can you tell us anything about that AI breakthrough that you alluded to?
Yes. So existing computer vision solutions, they run in the cloud because it's just so resource intensive. But as I said, most stores, even in the US, they don't have really good connection. So we had to create computer vision models that would run on the device. So it's literally in the palms of your hands when you use Wisy. So that if you don't have internet connection, or the cloud provider is down, or whatever is happening, you will still get the results instantly, compared to the fastest competitor that also runs in the cloud. They return data in 20 seconds per picture. So every time you take a picture, you have to wait 20 seconds to get the results if you have good internet connection. So that was a breakthrough. It was really, really hard to do. When companies asked for that, it sounded like, can you run faster than the speed of light? And I was like, okay, let me try to see if I can do the magic. And it took a while, of course. It's a deep tech startup, but we finally did it. When we announced it just on our website and to our partner at SAP, we just got inbound of requests from different countries, which is a good problem to have. But yeah. Waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning to do a demo to the world. But so yes, that breakthrough, besides enabling the offline capability and the instant results, it also drives down the cost. Yeah. Like usually one instance in the cloud for one customer would cost thousands of dollars per month. Now we drove down to zero because it's in your phone. That's all the processing you need.
Well, as you said, Min, that sounds like this sort of nice problem to have, creating, demand that requires sort of 24/7 involvement. But clearly, as the CEO of Wisy, you're accustomed to that. Thanks so much for being with us and sharing the story of how Wisy, which is the grand winner of our startup competition at Cloud Wars Expo, is doing. And Min, we wish you the best of luck going forward, and I hope we'll be able to stay in touch and hear about the great things that you and Wisy are continuing to do.
Of course, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you, Min. And folks, thanks to you for being with us here on this special episode of Cloud Wars Live, speaking with Min Chen, founder and CEO of Wisy.